Hello and welcome to my first video playing Bloodborne. I am essentially a Souls virgin. I've not played any of the Dark Souls games or Demon Souls. I have messed around a little bit in Bloodborne, but I thought it'd be quite interesting as someone who is kind of massively fascinated by Lovecraft and the whole kind of cosmic horror theme, to kind of go through Bloodborne essentially blind. I have read a fair amount about the story in a lot of elements, but I don't know a lot about how that story is kind of conveyed and how much of it is explicitly stated and how much of what I've seen is just theories. So I think that'd be quite interesting. I am going to be playing offline because I don't really want any influence from other players and the notes that they've left. So without further ado, let's begin a new game, shall we?
Oh, yeah. Pale blood. Well, you've come to the right place. Yharnam is the home of blood ministration. You need only unravel its mystery. But where's an outsider like yourself to begin? Easy, with a bit of Yharnam blood of your own. But first, you'll need a contract.
Okay, so like Creepy Guy said, we need a contract. So, for our name, we are going to go with the French Mort, because I quite like that, and the surname, Riggs. We're obviously male, you can hear that in my voice, and I'm going to go for the mature. I don't like that doesn't affect anything, the age, neither does gender or name, but I just kind of like the sound of the mature voice a little bit better. For the origin, now this is a good time to kind of talk about stats for those of you who don't know Bloodborne. Level is same as it is in every game, it's the kind of level of your character. Blood echoes are kind of the currency of the game, and use them for leveling up or buying items, and you get them from killing everything. Your vitality influences your physical defense and also your health points. Endurance affects your stamina, which is used for pretty much everything, and also your physical defense. Strength is kind of the scaling of your strength weapons, and you need like a certain strength score for certain weapons. Skill is the same, but with different kinds of weapons, things that require more finesse. If you're used to things like D&D, then finesse weapons are kind of the idea you're going with skill. Blood Tinge is used for your firearms and affects the damage output from them. In Bloodborne, guns aren't really used so much for damage as they are for parrying, but we'll get to that in a bit. And then Arcane is relatively unused in the early stages of the game, but it affects the Arcane output from different weapons, and it also affects your discovery score, which is how often different items will drop from different creatures, and so on. Now, there's loads of different origins that are essentially the kind of class system, so we are going to go with Violent Past, mainly because it's got quite a nice vitality and endurance. The strength is pretty good. The other skills aren't as important this kind of early stage, so we're going to go with the Violent Past because I think it would just kind of give us the best starting point. Now, for appearance, I have actually already designed him. As you can see, that's kind of what he looks like, a little bit shaggy, a bit worn, but that's who we are going with. That's Mort. For the purposes of the game, I don't know how long this will last, but I'm hoping to not wear headgear, just because it's nice to have a kind of recognisable character, and obviously human beings do that through their face. So I'm pretty much happy with what we've got there. I'm kind of going quickly because I want to get through this opening bit. There's quite a lot I want to get done just in this first video, to set up for more kind of stuff later. So we're going to finish and we will, yeah, finalise contract. Yes, please. The loading screens can be quite extensive in this game, just as a side note. but they have added these kind of item descriptions that they didn't have when it first launched, I believe. So it's actually it's not as dull as it used to be, where it's just the title of the game for minutes.
Good. All signed and sealed. Now, let's begin the transfusion. Oh, don't you worry. Whatever happens, you may think it all a mere bad dream.
You found yourself a hunter.
And that's the opening of Bloodborne. A very interesting beginning. Instantly, you'll notice it said in the right-hand corner that this is Josefka's clinic. I do happen to know that the gentleman who gave us the blood transfusion is not Josefka. Josefka is a woman. In fact, we'll hear her voice in a short while. So this is where we begin. I'm going to very quickly start by removing the headgear, like I said, so we can actually have a better idea. Look, there we are. That's our character. That's dear Mort. Now, this item here, these are littered throughout the world. They're kind of lore items. They kind of give you some of the backstory of the game. Handwritten scroll, seek pale blood to transcend the hunt. Maybe kind of an interesting point to say here that I know that in the Japanese version of the game, the original version, it was a lot more explicit that this is a note written by us, like by our character. So we kind of left this note for ourselves to tell us what to do, which I think is quite an interesting thing. Transcend is a really interesting word to use there, because it's not really end the hunt or to complete the hunt. Like, to transcend is to kind of move beyond. So not quite sure where that stacks up with the kind of mission for the game, but let's find out. That door at the back, by the way, is locked, so we can't go out that way. We're going to head down this way. Love the animations for opening the doors. It's so atmospheric. The light is gorgeous. I mean, just look at that. As we come to the bottom of the room here, there are notes on the floor here. These are ones that are kind of just part of the game that kind of teach us the controls, but those aren't really important because I already know how to play. Now, continuing through here, I'm moving quite slowly for a reason, as you're about to discover. You can probably hear him. There he is. We have a friend. Friend is a strong word. Here he comes. I don't think I'm going to survive this if I'm honest, but I'm going to try. Okay, he apparently doesn't seem to know where we are, but we can try and kill this bastard piece of crap. I'm actually doing a lot better than I thought I would, considering I don't have a weapon. Normally I die during this fight, but I want to beat him for once. Come on, try and get through the table then. You'll notice there, when we attacked him, we had lost a bit of health and we gained it back. That is called the rally. And actually I think it's a really interesting mechanic. I will talk about it when I'm safe, which I don't know when that's going to be, but let's get some of that health back. Oh, you bastard. Oh shit, we moved right into that one. We're actually not doing too bad. Come and get me then. I actually might be able to kill you this time. I've never been able to kill you. Maybe I'm just getting better at the game. Timing things better, moving around. Considering I have no weapon, I'm quite surprised at the fact they put this so early in the game. And the fact that he actually is beatable is a really... I was so close. I was so close. However, all is not lost. This is the hunter's dream, and it's kind of the central hub for the entirety of the game. This is our safe space. There's a lot of symbology with dreams in this game. It's quite important. Now these messengers are offering me things, aren't they lovely? The messengers offer you a trick weapon. Choose one. Trick weapons are wielded with the right hand and employed in beast hunting. Now a weapon would be very useful. There are 3 options here and they're all kind of scaled differently. The threaded cane is a much more skill-based weapon, and it does the least amount of damage, but it is the quickest of the 3 starting weapons. The hunter's axe is the slowest of the starting weapons, but it does more damage. And the saw cleaver, which is the one I'm going to be going with, is kind of an even balance of the 2. The main reason I'm going with the saw cleaver is because that's the weapon that I know best so far. So I just think it would be easier for me to use. Now all of these items have descriptions like this. So for the saw cleaver, for example, one of the trick weapons of the workshop, commonly used in the hunting business. This saw, effective at drawing the blood of beasts, transforms into a long cleaver that makes use of centrifugal force. The saw, with its set of bloodletting teeth, has become a symbol of the hunt and only grows in effectiveness the more grotesquely transformed the beast. They all have kind of similar descriptions. One of the trick weapons of the workshop, commonly used on the hunt, retains the qualities of an axe but offers a wider palette of attacks by transforming, boasts a heavy blunt attack leading to a high rally potential. No matter their paths, beasts are no more than beasts. Some choose this axe to play the part of the executioner. Threaded cane, one of the trick weapons of the workshop, commonly used by hunters on their duties, sufficiently deadly as a rigid bladed cane, but also serves as a whip when its blade is split into many. Concealing the weapon inside the cane and flogging the beast with the whip is partly an act of ceremony, an attempt to demonstrate to oneself that the bloodlust of the hunt will never encroach upon the soul. I actually started the first time I played this with the threaded cane because it was the quickest, but I actually found that the speed wasn't good for me as a new player. As much as I was able to hit more regularly, the lower damage did kind of make it more annoying for me, especially considering I don't think I had a very high skill on that character, and threaded cane scales better with skill. So we're going to go with the saw cleaver, and if we quickly go and equip that, you can see it there. The next ones are going to offer us a firearm. Messengers offer you a firearm. Choose one. Firearms are wielded with the left hand and employed in beast hunting. You've got 2 weapons here. The Hunter's Pistol does a lot more damage, but the Hunter's Blunderbuss has a much wider spread and shoots a cone attack. Like I said, firearms aren't so much used for damage, they're used for parrying, which I will demonstrate in a bit, I believe. I'm not amazing at it. I'm going to throw that out there now. There will probably be points where if you're watching this you may be screaming at me to use my gun, and I might probably not. So we're going to take the pistol because it's the one that I'm used to using and the added damage doesn't hurt. And finally, a notebook received from the messengers. Leave messages with these loyal servants to share them with hunters in other worlds. Now we're playing offline, so the notebook won't do anything. But in the full, if you play online, you can actually use the notebook to leave messages similar to the ones that the game itself just includes, like that, where it would come up with a bit of text that another player has left and possibly an animation that can give you hints about the world. Like I said, I kind of want to do it more blind than that, so we're not going to. Let's go and deal with our dear beastie friend. So these headstones, you can awaken at a selected location in Yharnam. Like I said, dreams and awakening are huge symbols in this game, and I'm not quite sure where they fit in with the storyline, but everything seems to be a dream, or you're awakening, or something. So we're going to go to the first floor sick room, and we are going to deal with that guy that I was so close to beating. I genuinely can't believe how close I was to beating him without a weapon. I'm a little bit bloody irritated because I was so close. But it's fine because now we have a saw cleaver and he ain't gonna get back. Now you'll notice, well, you may not have noticed, but when I started the game I actually had, I think it's 180 blood echoes. You'll notice that now I have none. You lose blood echoes when you die. This is quite important. This is a lamp. You find that those will be found at various locations throughout Yharnam, and these are kind of the checkpoints. You can only use a lamp the way I just did and to awaken in the world once you have already discovered it and unlocked it. We will be finding another one in this video, definitely. Before we go and deal with Mr. Beastie, we're going to quickly come up here and you're going to meet Yosefka.
Are you out on the hunt? Then I'm very sorry, but I cannot open this door. I am Yosefka. The patients here in my clinic must not be exposed to infection. I know that you hunt for us, for our town, but I'm sorry. Please. This is all that I can do.
And she's given us Yosefka's blood vial.
Now, go. And good hunting.
There will be various doors throughout Yharnam that we can interact with different members of the population. Not all doors are interactable. Now, blood vials are an interesting thing to get onto. That's the healing mechanic for this game. You inject blood into your right thigh to heal. At the moment we haven't got any blood vials except for the one Yosefka just gave us, and the one she gave us is unique. Here, because we died, we lost all of our blood echoes. However, wherever we died, they are left in the world, and we can pick them back up again. Now, sometimes if there is a creature nearby where we died, that creature will absorb the blood echoes, and we can only regain them by killing that creature. So here we have a friend. Come on. Bring it on. And we killed him. See, look how easy that is with a weapon. We get 3 blood vials from him. Very, very useful. I think this person is beyond our saving. Such a shame. We'll walk through his body and leave. Now, there are a lot of bodies kind of scattered throughout because of the beastly scourge that has taken over Yharnam, and a lot of them have items. So here we've got even more blood vials. We're now up to 5. Yay! Now our gun that you can see in our left hand uses the quicksilver bullet. So on the top left you've got red bar, which is my health, the green bar, which is my stamina, you'll notice that as I swing my weapon, my stamina goes down. As I kind of tumble and move out of the way, it goes down, and as I run, it goes down. So stamina is used for a lot of things, and it is something that I definitely need to keep an eye on while we're playing. Underneath that, you've got the blood vials, which I've got 5 of currently, and we've got quicksilver. The quicksilver bullets are used in the gun and are infused with the wielder's own blood. So that's my blood, and I can actually sacrifice a portion of my health to get 5 temporary quicksilver bullets if I need them. So if we leave and go outside, we are now in Yharnam. Now there's an item over here, so let's go and pick that up. 10 more quicksilver bullets, that brings us up to a full 20. 20 is the maximum that we can carry at any time. If we pick up any more, they get put in storage for us, which is actually a really nice mechanic. It means that you picking something up is never going to be a waste. And we're in central Yharnam, and look at that view. This is actually quite a genius way of opening because it gives us a goal. We have a huge bridge there that leads upwards, and up seems good. If we quickly run down here, we've got some more items. We have more blood vials. There are lights everywhere in this city. I never noticed them the first time I was playing through. I never really saw how many lights there were, like, everywhere. And the city is very, very high. You can see just how high we are by the fact there are buildings so far below us. We eventually will be kind of exploring further down, but not for a very long time yet. If we come around here, we meet our first huntsman. He is not very friendly, so we're just gonna take care of him because he did not greet us like a normal human being. I'm not entirely sure if he is infected, however. I would assume he is because he seems a little bit frenzied, and I kind of view the beastly scourge kind of almost like a rabies type analogue, that it kind of affects people's minds. But if you listen carefully to some of these huntsmen, they actually call me a beast and try to blame me for what's happening. There is sentience to them, and there is logic behind their behind what their aims are. So we get more blood vials. Now this gate, I will quickly just show you. There are a lot of these kind of things where it's closed by a device, and I don't know if you can see, there is a lever on the other side of that gate. There it is. The lever there, which opens that gate. There's a lot of these throughout the game that are shortcuts that you can unlock to make it kind of easier to traverse different locations, like this one here. We now have a ladder. And that's one thing actually I really like about the design of this. There is so many different ways of accessing different I don't know what made that noise. I really, really don't know what made that noise. I have a theory, but just remember the creepy noise. Remember the creepy noise. And here, you'll see, we have our first lamp that we get to light. And the messengers. This lamp now transports you back to the hunter's dream, and upon death, you will reawaken at this lamp. Now, these lanterns here, outside windows and outside doors, hold incense, I believe, that ward off the beastly scourge, and usually indicate that we can speak to someone at that window or door.
Oh, you must be a hunter, and not one from around here either. I'm Gilbert, a fellow outsider. You must have had a fine time of it. Yharnam has a special way of treating guests. Well, I don't think I could stand if I wanted to, but I'm willing to help if there's anything that can be done. This town is cursed. Whatever your reasons might be, you should plan a swift exit. Whatever can be gained from this place, it will do more harm than good.
Okay, let's try talking to him again.
Pale blood, you say? Never heard of it. But if it's blood you're interested in, you should try the Healing Church. The church controls all knowledge on blood ministration and all varieties of blood. Across the valley to the east of Yharnam lies the town of the Healing Church, known as the Cathedral Ward. And deep within Cathedral Ward is the old Grand Cathedral, the birthplace of the Healing Church's special blood, or so they say. Yharnamites don't share much with outsiders. Normally they wouldn't let you near the place, but the hunt is on tonight. This might be your chance.
Now, that over there, that sprawling set of buildings, that is Cathedral Ward. That's where we're heading, and that is the bridge he's on about that heads over to Cathedral Ward, which we will be getting to, do not worry. First, however, let's pop back, because we know we can come back to this lamp now that we've activated it. So let's go back to the Hunter's Dream. And you'll notice that something has changed. We can come in here.
Aha! You must be the new hunter. Welcome to the Hunter's Dream. This will be your home for now. I am Gammon, friend to you hunters. You're sure to be in a fine haze about now, but don't think too hard about all of this. Just go out and kill a few beasts. It's for your own good. You know, it's just what hunters do. You'll get used to it. This was once a safe haven for hunters. A workshop where hunters used blood to enhance their weapons and flesh. We don't have as many tools as we once did, but you're welcome to use whatever you find. Even the dog, should it please you.
That creepy comment, which, ew, is about this doll. An abandoned doll. Creepy. Incredibly, incredibly creepy. So I think we'll probably leave it there for the first video. We've gone through the basics, we've introduced the world, you've seen a little bit of Yharnam, and we've met Gehrman and Gilbert. Bye! I'll see you next time when we will be killing a lot more people and opening up our first shortcut. Thank you very much.